Turn it. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam Show. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam Show. Turn it up.
What's going on, everybody? Dr. Chris Featherstone here for episode 599 of the Pancakes and Powerslams Show. I'm here live. I got some topics to talk to you live. Of course, the hashtag Ask Doc for your questions. And then we're going to go to the after party where I've got some exclusive information. But also, I'm going to announce next week. I'm going to announce right now. So we've got two guests for next week for episode 600 of the Pancakes and Powerslams Show. First off, we got the PNP Nation coming in, rolling in. What's going on, everybody? What's up, PNP Nation? So let me go ahead and announce the person for episode 600, the Q&A. The person who's going to be featured next week on the Q&A for episode 600 live is none other than John Cena Sr., ladies and gentlemen. John Cena Sr. will be here live here on the Pancakes and Powerslams Show for episode 600. Once again, John Cena Sr. will be here live to answer your questions on episode 600 next week on the Pancakes and Powerslams Show. And then after that, after the Q&A session with John Cena Sr., for those on the after party, you are going to have a live Q&A session with none other than Brian Clark. Adam Baum will be in the building. Brian Clark will be there live for our patrons, and John Cena Sr. will be here live for the PNP Nation, taking your questions. So the patrons get to enjoy John Cena Senior Q&A live, as well as Brian Clark, Adam Baum live. And for those who aren't patrons, get you a patron, patreon.com/pancakes and Powerslams, $3.99 a month. We do live Q&As. Again, I'm bringing wrestlers in. We've got all types of fun stuff at the live after party. But 600 episodes is next week. I'm super excited about it, and it's going to be a great time. So without further ado, let's get to we're going to get to the questions here, and let's also get to our first story, which is The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, as we saw with The Rock interviewing Pat McAfee interviewing The Rock. Pat McAfee asking The Rock, what was going on with you and Roman Reigns? What was up with that? What's up with you and Roman Reigns? And The Rock was honest in his exclamation. He was honest in his answer, and he said, "Hey, beginning in the January, the beginning of 2022, they talked. He met with some execs from WWE." He said, quote, "It was locked in. It was locked in of The Rock versus Roman Reigns." He called it locked in. And then, unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. And we got Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns instead. But Philadelphia is hosting WrestleMania 40. That's going to be a monumental show, and The Rock said that he is open. He is, quote, open to competing against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. Now, PNP Nation, what do y'all think? Do you think that because of course there's been rumors of Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns again at WrestleMania 40 for the rematch, the repeat between Cody and Roman Reigns. Now, with the strike going on, with WWE trying to get more star appeal with the Endeavor deal, of course, Cody Rhodes is going to have to step aside if WWE and Endeavor wants to work with The Rock heading into WrestleMania 40. Now, that could lead to Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. They have many matches together. They have several matches together, especially last year. That can go right back into a possible feud between those two. Who's going to be the heel? Is it face versus face? We shall see. It wouldn't really be finishing the story, so to speak, because Cody wants the world title that his daddy, Dusty Rhodes, never was able to win the world title in the WWE, baby. But at the same time, it's a consolation prize. It still gives you a big moment at WrestleMania. And again, if Endeavor wants The Rock to come in for WrestleMania to help their brand and their ratings, of course, he has first precedence. Now, The Rock was saying in the Pat McAfee show that he wanted it to make sense. If he makes a return, he wants it to make sense. He wants it to not necessarily end something. He said he wanted it to start something, and they couldn't really grasp that. They really couldn't get a feel on that leading into WrestleMania 39. So it went off the table. Can we see Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40? PNP Nation, what do you think? Thank you very much. Thank you very much of the congrats. PNP Nation, of course, hashtag Ask Doc, and let me know your thoughts on The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Would you want to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40? And do you make it a title match? Do you not make it a title match? At this point, with Roman Reigns' schedule, people are saying a lot of bad things about Roman Reigns' schedule and saying that he doesn't deserve to be world champion. I mean, granted, he doesn't make very many appearances. He doesn't make very many title defenses. And at first, I was like, yeah, if he doesn't show every week, that's actually a good thing. But unfortunately, I am getting more on the train of he needs to make more appearances and defend the title more. Otherwise, you really can't give him too much credit for continuing his reign if he's not even defending his championship. So I do understand why people would be upset about that. Next story, Daniel Bryan now booking Collision with the absence of CM Punk, with CM Punk gone from AEW. There's actually rumors that Daniel Bryan is now booking Collision, and he went over to Saturday nights, taking over the show. If he is, I'm all for it. I'm all for it because Daniel Bryan is, he's been talking about retirement. I've talked about here on the show as far as Daniel Bryan's concerned. I've given some exclusive information on the Patreon with the after party as far as Daniel Bryan's overall thoughts on his AEW career and what he's actually looking to do from now on as an AEW contracted wrestler. So if he does take over the creative, sure, we'll have some matches and everything, but is it really going to matter if you're doing matches, or are we going to see fun stories? Are we going to see riveting stories? From what I understand, there's a Daniel Bryan versus Ricky Starks match coming up. Again, if you're doing matches for matches' sake, it's not really going to do too much. And we're going to get to the Axe Docs here in a moment. Thank you all for loading up the questions live. We're about to address them in a moment. Again, Daniel Bryan booking Collision. At the end of the day, what does it mean if we're going to see a very similar thing that Tony Khan's been doing? If that's the case, I really don't see too much change there. Give me something that will cause suspense. Give me something that will cause excitement. Give me some things that will cause riveting storylines that would make people want to see more. That's the big thing when it comes to booking Collision. Anybody can book Collision and put matches together, but if you're giving riveting storylines, something to bite into for the next week, that's when I'll say, okay, cool. I see a difference now than when Tony Khan did it. So I'm all for Daniel Bryan being a part of the creative team, but I think he's better suited for an agent. Honestly, with his amazing skill set in the agent field, if he does want to write the Collision show, I think is cool. But I mean, what does it matter if there's no storylines? All right, the last hot topic we have for the week before we get to the questions is Ed's possibly not re-signing with WWE. Of course, he said he gave a video updates some weeks ago as far as saying that him and WWE are cool. But he said, he said he still have the contract, a new contract. He hasn't done anything with it yet. We haven't seen Edge in several weeks. Of course, he went against Sheamus the last time we saw him. It was in Toronto. Is that a way to say goodbye? It's kind of it wasn't random because it wasn't his hometown, but it was an odd SmackDown. You know what I mean? So if that's the way to go, if that's the way to send off Edge for what he's done for the company, I mean, it's a bit odd. But hey, Christian's in AEW. That's his best friend, and maybe it's a new life. Maybe it's a new zeal with Edge going to AEW. Is the grass greener in AEW? Not always. We've seen that with and on many occasions. Most recently, CM Punk. But if it's a one-off or if it's just a couple of appearances, a few appearances. Maybe a setup, maybe setting up a feud with Christian, and maybe Christian defeats him. He gives Christian the rub, as his friend. So possible things that could happen with Edge. Now there's still some possibilities that can go as far as the future of Edge, and we shall see where that leads. AEW, we'll see. I mean, Grand Slams in New York. Could we see Edge in New York? People were saying, could we see Edge in Wembley? Now, could we see Edge in New York? I mean, we'll see. I mean, they Wrestle Dreams coming up too, perhaps, and perhaps that. It's possible that we can see Edge in AEW, but at the end of the day, what does it really mean? Is it just a shiny new toy for Tony Khan? We'll see. All right, let's address a few of these Ask Doc questions. #AskDoc, and then we're heading over to the after party. What do you think of prime time in Colorado? Oh, good question. So I'm all for it. I'm buying into the prime time train. I'm buying into the Deion Sanders train. I think the Colorado State game, although it was, although it was a rivalry game, Colorado was definitely not, that good to be struggling with that much. But again, it's a rivalry game, so it does create that type of energy. You have people from both teams there since it's a in-state game, and so it does create that psychological momentum, which means a lot as well. But we'll see though, Av. We'll see, because you've got Oregon this weekend. You got UNC following USC following that. So you've got two top 15 matchups, one top 10 matchup. And I think Oregon's moved up to what's Oregon 12th now, 11th. They moved up. Alabama went down. And Oregon up. So I think USC is still fourth or fifth. Let's see. Yeah, fifth USC. Oregon is 10th. So two top 10 matchups in a matter of 2 weeks time. So this is the time. This 2 week streak here, this 2 week span. This is the time to see what you really are all about coming up in the next few weeks. Now, if they're able to beat Oregon and USC, even if they're able to just split it, I think that they'll still be a top 25 team unless they get smoked. But I do think that if you do make them, if they're able to win both games against Oregon and USC, two top 10 teams, it's hard not to put them in the top 10. That's for sure. USC is a top 5 team right now. So, I mean, if Colorado's able to beat Oregon and USC, a 10th ranked and a 5th ranked, I mean, do you even argue that you shoot them all the way up to, the top 7, top 5, So we'll see. We'll see. These next 2 weeks are pivotal streak for Colorado to see how they really are. Are they only talk? Are they mostly talk? Or do their bite? Or is their bite just as strong and impactful as their bark? All right, let's go through the rest of them real quick. Rock versus Reigns brings in money, ratings, interest. It's blockbuster. It was never meant to be Cody. If Reigns is surpassing Hogan, then have him beat The Rock and do Cena versus Cody. I don't think the goal is to surpass Hogan. I don't think that's the motive. But I do think that Rock Reigns is much more intriguing than Cody Reigns any day of the. Cody versus Reigns any day of the week, especially with this Impact, this Endeavor deal. That's for sure. Michael, this might be the only chance to have the Rocket Mania with the strike on. Definitely the Rock versus Roman, no title on line. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I think that I think no title on line is fine. I think they probably will do a title on line. But I agree. I've been saying that for a while, even with the rumors that it was going to happen this week, this year, or even was rumors that it was going to happen last year. I do think that no title on line is fine. If they do have the title on line, of course, Reigns wins. But if there's a time, this is the time to do it. That's for sure. I would go for Rock versus Roman, but I also book Jay versus Priest somewhere down the line for the briefcase, maybe a Rumble. Then Jimmy versus Jay night 1 after Rock, Roman, Jay cashes in. I think they need to do a better job with building him on Raw first, because they're not doing a really good job building him as a legitimate main event star. Also, wouldn't do what people have said WWE could do, and that's Rock versus Reigns night 1 and Cody versus Reigns night 2. I agree. Don't do that. The bigger matches, Rock versus Reigns and Cody, would be overshadowed. Yeah, I agree. I don't think you do that. You shouldn't have Reigns split nights and do Cody on the second. No, don't do that. No, I agree. Who would have been some good fit to join the corporation back in the day? I think D-Lo would have been a good fit. Huh. That's an interesting question. D-Lo and the corporation. That would have been interesting. Who did not join the corporation that would have been a good fit to join the corporation? I'm going to throw somebody out there. Let's say Stevie Richards joining the corporation. He did really well at Right to Censor. That was fantastic. Stevie Richards joining the corporation. That would have been interesting. Someone who was a main event star that could have joined the corporation that didn't. Let's go. I mean, just about everybody did. I mean, Trip, Rock, Taker, Foley, Austin, even. I mean, he joined Vince. He didn't join the corporation. I don't think Angle would have really fit. A main eventer who wasn't in the corporation that would have been a good fit. In the Attitude Era days, because Big Show was too. I mean, just about every main eventer was in the corporation. So I can't think of anyone that it would have really worked joining the corporation. D'Lo was an interesting, maybe Farouk, maybe Farouk joining the corporation. Ron Simmons, that would have been pretty interesting. Have I interviewed Al Snow before? Yes, I have. All right, y'all. We heading to the after party. That was cool. That was great. Again, 600 episodes next week. We've got John Cena Senior here in the heat of John Cena coming back to the WWE for a hot second during the writer's strike. We got his dad, legendary manager, and also he's made several appearances for the WWE at the WWE. John Cena Senior, so we can pick his brain as far as the whereabouts. I mean, what's going on with John Cena in the strike and his time in WWE, and we can do a lot. We're gonna have a lot of fun with John Cena Senior for the 600 episode, and of course, on the after party next week, we will have a former WWE Tag Team Champion, former WCW Tag Team Champion, former WWE star Brian Clark for the patrons for next week. So we got a fun-filled 600 episode week next week. So PNP Nation, thank you very much. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, spread this out to everybody. This is Dr. Chris Featherstone. We will see you at the after party. Solo.